girls, it's Hailey Reese and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that you are here joining me for yet another video. If you're new to my channel, I am uploading every single day this month for Reesemas, and today's video is yet another Christmas related case that is absolutely chilling and could have ended so much worse than it did. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you would know that while I dive into the paranormal, while I grew up in a haunted house, have investigated some of the most haunted locations, there is nothing that scares me more at times than the human race. And today's story is no exception. I am so curious to know by the end of this what you guys think the motive behind this incident was, what you think would have happened if these people's senses weren't heightened and they weren't paying attention to all the little things that would have made a much bigger case. And definitely let me know in the comment section below, because ever since I heard this, I cannot stop thinking about it. So without further ado, sit back, relax, maybe turn a light on, and let's get into yet another true, terrifying Christmas case. So this case has to do with the Walter family. Now, the Walter family was described as a very big, very tight-knit, close family. I'm assuming their special occasions were absolutely nothing like mine, because while I do have a big family, the family that's super close in my family is just very tight-knit and small, and like our get-togethers are nothing wild and crazy. But from what I read about this family, they knew how to party. They knew how to throw the biggest, most best birthday parties, Christmas parties, Thanksgivings, all of the above. And so this particular year of this case, their Christmas was going to be no exception. They were so excited to throw yet another big family annual Christmas. Now, because there was so many of them, they would usually throw their Christmas parties at a hall. They would rent out a space, they would all kind of pitch in, get together, all kind of be responsible for different parts of the party, and get together in a space much bigger. But this particular year, they weren't too sure with everything going on in the world if they'd be able to rent a hall and have that many people there. So one of the relatives decided to offer up their house, as their home was fairly large and had an exceptionally large backyard that had a hill where if there was snow, the kids could like toboggan and have fun on it. So that was set to be the plan. They were all going to meet up at this relative's house, bring all the items they were responsible for. The kids would play outside in the snow if there was any, and everyone would just have a merry old time. Now, the Walter family didn't just get together and enjoy food and drinks and each other's company. Oh no. The Walter family would go above and beyond. They would have a Santa come out, elves come out, reindeers come out, the whole absolute 9 yards they would have come out to make these kids beautiful memories of their Christmas parties. But again, this year everything was so last minute that the usual company that they would book through to book the Santa, the elves, the deer, all the shebang, was already booked up on the date that they were going to be having their party. So they were left to basically scramble and find something that would be up to par, but still, deliver the experience. They ended up finding online a company that they'd never heard of, but seemed to have good reviews on their website and seemed to deliver something very similar. The plan was that Santa would show up with his elves, the kids would have their moment with Santa, get their picture taken, tell Santa what they want for Christmas, pet the deer, and all of that. So everything seemed to check out as exactly what they wanted. They had called up the company, and all that the company required was a credit card deposit and then payment after everything was said and done. So they booked them up and the party was a go. Everything was looking like it was checking out. Now, here's where things take a bone-chilling turn. The entire family gets together, everyone's together in this big home, the kids are playing outside, the adults are enjoying adult beverages and hors d'oeuvres, and that's when they get the knock on the door that the entertainment is here. Santa is here with his elves and his reindeer and everything. But what they found kind of strange was that online they were promised like real deer coming to the house, but yet this was just deer costumes. So they found it a little bit weird, but most of the kids were pretty young, so they thought, you know what, it'll still be a lot of fun. And they basically explained to the kids that these were Santa's helpers that go all across to spread the Christmas cheer. So the kids weren't expecting anything too crazy, just that their message would get delivered to Santa and Santa would give them what they would like for Christmas, granted if they were behaving themselves. But right away, the owner of the home started noticing some strange behaviors with everyone that was there. And keep in mind, they were in full-blown attire, so you couldn't recognize who each and every person was. He started noticing that they were looking around an awful lot, that the way that the Santa was looking at the house wasn't like he was admiring it, but rather like he was actually scoping the house out. He was looking like in all the different like hallways and trying to like get a map of the place. And they even caught him at one point looking at the security system and asking the owner, like, you like this one? Like, you find it works well? And the owner found it weird, but he was like, yeah, I recommend the company. Why, are you looking for one? And the guy's like, yeah, I'm looking for one. So an hour goes by and they had them booked for a couple of hours and things just start getting stranger and stranger. The Santa's making weird little comments to the kids and then goes up to the homeowner and asks, which one are yours? The homeowner said, none of them are mine, even though that wasn't true, because he was starting to get very unsettled feelings and was actually standing in the kitchen Googling the company and all of the reviews as this is all going on. But as I said, all of the reviews online were really good reviews. Everything seemed to check out. They were verified customers. So he was like, maybe I'm just being paranoid because we're doing this at my house for the first time. Again, he had a very expensive, big house, lots of valuables, and there was a lot of distractions going on. So he's feeling like he has to watch everybody that's in his home that he is unaware of. And Santa, I guess, made a comment at one point that one of the moms heard to the kid saying, bad little children end up underground or something weird like that. And when the mom was questioning about it, he was saying, oh, because that's like where coal is, of course. Like, they're going to have to collect their own coal. And the mom was like, that doesn't really make sense, but okay. So all the parents were like kind of secretly feeling very uncomfortable with this group of people. But all goes well. They end up leaving. They leave the kids' little candy canes and they head out the door and they're paid in cash for the remainder that wasn't within the deposit. They head out and the parents start talking about afterwards how strange the whole thing was. In fact, when the party was over and the owner of the home was talking with his wife, he was saying like that he just felt like they were looking at the house weird. Some of the moms had said like he was making some weird comments, the way he was like talking and like looking at the kids and just like looking at the home. So they weren't feeling too good about it, but they just said like, we're just not gonna book them next year. They thought that they were just gonna move on from the odd experience. They said they'd never book late in the year ever again, until in the middle of the night, things would take a shocking turn. They would receive a notification on their phone saying that there's movement detected in the front of their house. When he would check the cameras, out the front of his house was this same looking Santa with two elves staring at the house, just scoping it out and slowly walking around. The homeowner goes to run downstairs, but by the time he goes outside, they're nowhere to be found. So he goes back inside and proceeds to call 911, obviously, because now they're coming back for what? Normally, even his wife would think that he was being paranoid, but because he already felt so uncomfortable when they were in the house and now they're returning unprofessionally, even she was like, we need to call the police. This is not okay. So the police essentially took down an entire report. They took down the name of the company and everything. But here's where it gets creepy, you guys. I have goosebumps. When they contacted the company they had initially booked through and had given the non-refundable deposit to, they proceeded to tell them that they had never come to their house, that they had received an email from the family stating that they would no longer require their services. Thank you, keep the deposit, we don't need you. So they had no idea how, who, or why anybody was at their house on that day for that exact time slot, how they knew what was owed on the remaining, and who they were. They had no idea. Now, this is obviously very concerning to the family, very concerning to the police, but there was nothing to go off of. They said that they investigated this as far and long as they could. There was nothing that they could go off of because of the costumes, because of the way that they were dressed, because of the lack of interaction, because they paid in cash. There was no way of figuring out who this group of people were inside of their home. Now, the company that they had booked through said they did find it odd that they were emailing through a different email, but that it wasn't unusual for couples to have multiple emails, and because they knew everything about like the service that they were booking, they assumed that it was the family and that the family just no longer wanted them. So to this day, this family has no idea how this even happened, who was in their home, and if they will ever come back. And it's even more unsettling because they did come back after the homeowner felt like they were scoping out the lay of the land. We've talked about so many cases where people are within their homes with others who are not supposed to be in there, and I just can't get over how violated and freaked out and scared you would feel. I'd even be wondering, like, did they plant cameras in my house? Like, why were they looking at my security system? Why were they talking about kids going underground? It was just so creepy when I was reading it that I had to bring it on here and ask you guys, what do you think the motive was? How do you think they got the information? Who do you think they were? And just overall, what do you think the game plan was? I seriously need to know in the comment section below, because supposedly, from what I understand, after that night that they had returned, they've yet to return since. So what was the purpose? Definitely let me know down in the comment section below. And that's it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my content, I would love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you.